Days away, Republican gubernatorial candidate Brian Kemp doing some last-minute campaigning in Roswell tonight after getting a major endorsement from President Trump. Dozens coming out to support him at a rally. Kemp talked a lot about his primary platforms as the Roswell mayor, Lori Henry, used the event to throw her support behind Kemp. And the timing is really interesting here, considering Roswell's police department is under quite a bit of scrutiny itself right now after an 11 Alive investigation. Hope Ford has more on how his platform and her department's dilemma are intersecting.
Ron, he said the endorsements he feels increased his momentum. That's Kemp. And even though a recent poll shows he's in a close race with Casey Cagle and 20% of Republican voters remain undecided. Now, of course, what's really interesting about his rally tonight was the location of Roswell. Brian Kemp holding a rally in Roswell, a city whose police department is facing heat after two videos surfaced showing controversial arrests. Kemp told his supporters one of his priorities is public safety reform.
So when the mayor talked about the men and women in blue, God bless them for keeping us safe.
Around the time this rally was happening, another was taking place in Midtown.
The inhumane way in which he was killed will make history.
To protest police brutality.
Because it's not truly about the NFL. It's not truly about the player. It's about what's going on in this country.
So what did Kemp have to say about bridging the gap between those who feel victimized by police and those strongly supporting the men and women in blue?
You have bad apples. They need to be held accountable, but it doesn't mean we don't need to stand up for those that are literally being shot down in cold blood trying to protect our community. So you have to have that balance and hold people accountable, but in no way diminishes the support that we have for the men and women in blue, our troops.
Now, the other interesting thing about tonight's rally, Ron, as you mentioned earlier, Kemp received an endorsement from the city's mayor, Lori Henry.
I really, truly do appreciate the process, the democratic process, and I am more than happy to do this for both sides of the aisle.
The one thing we should point out, Mayor Henry says she's nonpartisan, but did she say why she decided to host this rally for Kemp?
Well, Henry says she's always supported Kemp, and the campaign actually reached out to her about hosting, and she suggested the City Hall grounds because it wouldn't cost taxpayers. But not everyone there was happy. Some protesters of Kemp you actually saw behind her, they were actually crowding her around us during our interview with her. Yeah,
you know, did the mayor have anything to say about those two controversial arrest videos we've been talking about?
Yeah, we asked her about that. Mayor Henry declined to comment beyond what she's already said, which is the behavior of those particular officers is inexcusable and unprofessional.
All right, Hope. Thanks a lot. We'll see you tonight on the Late Fee. Talk a little bit more about that. By the way, both Brian Kemp and Casey Cagle will be traveling the state tomorrow doing some last-minute campaigning just one day before the primary runoff. Cagle will be starting early tomorrow morning, making stops in Atlanta, Evans, Savannah, Brunswick, Albany, Columbus, Macon, Dalton, and Gainesville. 11 Alive plans to be at his Atlanta event. Kemp will be starting a little later on in the day after spending the weekend stumping. He's going to be traveling to Atlanta, Savannah, and Augusta. 11 Alive has your complete guide to Tuesday's primary runoff elections with our website, 11alive.com. There you can find information about all the candidates and races, along with breakdowns comparing the two GOP gubernatorial candidates, Brian Kemp and Casey Cagle. For the search